Good morning, students. Today we shall be beginning the chapter Packing, which has been taken from the novel Three Men in Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. This is a humorous part which has been taken. The packing is a humorous part of this novel where we see the three gentlemen, narrator, George, and Harris. They indulge in packing the things and they have no experience. They had no experience about the packing, and this indulge in messing all the things. This mess up all the things. Whereas Montmorency is the fourth character here, although it's a pet dog, and it also add to the mess while packing. Now the chapter begins where the narrator he offers his two friends for the packing, and they have all decided to go for the holiday trip, and the things that is before that they need to pack the things, and he wanted the other two that is to pack the things, but Harris and George they did not interfere, so it becomes now narrator's duty to pack the things, and his while the narrator's intention was to sit idly and boss the thing, that is to see George and narrator packing the things. But as we see, the Harris and George they did not show any interest, so narrator himself had to pack the things. Now the narrator he starts packing the things. He began his packing. It did not take much time to finish his packing, but we see when Harris has completed his packing, George asked him whether he has put his Harris asked him whether he has put his boot inside the packing or not. But the we see the narrator realizes that he has forgotten the boot, and George he started laughing, which irritated the narrator Jerome, which irritated him, and he opened the bag and put the boot inside. Suddenly, again it came to his head that whether he has packed the toothbrush or not, the packing of a toothbrush is done or not. He turned everything out once again to look for the brush toothbrush, and then brushes of George Harris were there, but the toothbrush of narrator was again missing. Okay, it was again missing, and now George and Harris were and that is it was inside one of his boot. The brush went inside the boot of the narrator, and then he repacked the things once again narrator repacked the things. Okay, now when he has packed once again, George asked for the soap, whether he has packed the soap or not. As soon as the narrator finished his packing, he was asked by George about the soap, but the narrator he was so irritated that he doesn't like to answer, but he angrily he said to the George that he does not bother he's not bothered about the soap. But this time again we see he won't open his bag now for the soap, but unknowingly he again had to open for the tobacco tobacco pouch, which he has put that inside the bag. So again the bag was open, and this way Harris and George now looked at the narrator, who was so irritated that and they gave themselves for the rest of the packing. At 10 the luggage was packed, but now the luggage of the eatable things were left. George and Harris they started packing the things in a very light move, that is very comfortably they begin the things packing. They pile up the plates, the cups, and other things, eatable things, other like butter and the tomato, they everything was kept there. But George and Harris, they also doesn't have any experience about the packing, so they packed like tomatoes and the butter below, and on butter below, and on it they kept the heavy stuff, and which squashed the things, the soft things were squashed. And again they had to take out everything, the pastries also, the pastries which were kept below, that were also um, squashed. Okay, and now the excitement over the packing still was there in George, and we see excitement was still there uh, in George, and he kept on packing the things again and again. The teapot was packed, the butter was packed, everything was packed. But we see while packing, Montmorency was the dog which again added to their difficulties. Okay, he came and sat on the eatable things. Then he started playing with the um, uh, playing with the lemon. Okay, which he took as a the rat. Okay, and he started playing with it, and this also disturbed the George and Harris for while packing. Okay, and then at last the packing was complete at 12, and they went for sleep. After that they went for a sleep, and after this we see the George and the Harris, they had to get up early at 6:30 for the 6:30 to leave the place for their trip for their trip. And we see they took the bath, and where we find that George was still in bed was still in bed. Thank you, students. This was the story about it.